Hi everyone, Dr. Remy from Posture Size. Today our personal training 101 tip is how to personal train clients with injuries using joint stabilization while stretching. Hope you enjoy. So when it comes to how to personal train your clients with injuries using stretching, many personal trainers don't realize that joint stabilization is an essential part of the stretching program. If you have an injured client, many times the soft tissues are related to some dysfunctional movement pattern or joint stability issue that actually caused the trauma in the first place. And unless you take into consideration the exact posture and position and movement of that joint while you're stretching, you're only going to aggravate the soft tissues. Let me tell you an example. Let's say we have a shoulder problem. We have a client that injured their rotator cuff because they have a tendency to anterior glide their shoulder in the front of the shoulder socket. Normally, a healthy shoulder, the upper arm bone, sits in a nice, snug, and neutral centered position in the shoulder socket, and it stays there throughout various motions. It's a center of support for the whole upper extremity as it moves. However, because they had a tendency to have their upper arm slide forward due to posture problems and muscular imbalances in the rotator cuff and the associated shoulder muscles, when they were doing their bench press or their planks and using their chest and their triceps to hold the position, that shoulder moved forward and it wound up damaging and irritating the rotator cuff. Now, let's say we want to stretch the front of the shoulder because they have residual tightness in the front of their shoulder. As a personal trainer, we think bringing the arm back is a great idea. However, if we just bring the arm back normally, because that client has a tendency to forward roll their shoulder in their socket, as we bring the arm back in shoulder extension, that tendency is going to be accentuated. So what's happening is, even though you're feeling a stretch on the front of the shoulder, in the biceps, in the pec, what you're doing is you're not taking into consideration the joint placement. That arm should really be back in the shoulder socket as you're held in that position. Because without holding it back, what you're doing is you're training the soft tissues to remain in that abnormal position. You're not targeting the deep tissues that need stretching if the arm was back. Feeling the stretch with the arm forward is a whole different feel than feeling it with the arm back. You're going to get different sensation around the front of the shoulder because different fibers of different soft tissues are being targeted. So without knowing how to stabilize a joint, you're only promoting more improper motion. So what's really happening with that? Personal training, you're supposed to be helping your client get to a higher fitness level. You're supposed to be improving their health and their function. If you're not taking into consideration where the joint is placed as it's being stretched, you're actually promoting more dysfunction. What does that do to them? It gives them a temporary stretch of some of the soft tissues in their shoulder, but when they go back to benching, to doing planks, push-ups, dips, muscle-ups, whatever they're doing, they're going to still be using that position because you haven't stretched the right soft tissues and you haven't trained neurologically the joint to stabilize when the arm is behind. So you're getting two benefits here. If you think about how to stabilize the joint, you're not only targeting the right soft tissues in the right alignment and the right movement pattern, but you're helping to train the coordination of the body so that when the arm comes behind, when they're doing a pull down, when they're doing a row, that their neurological system is used to holding that arm back in the socket because that's what you train them to do with your training, with your stretching. So using corrective exercises, learning how to stabilize joints is essential for effective stretching if you really want to get the best outcomes with your personal training clients. If you want to find out how to assess joints, shoulders, knees, lower back, neck, feet, ankles, elbows, look no further than our essential crash course for personal trainers available at the posturesize.com website. We've got all the analysis you need to assess your client's joints, learn what the muscle imbalances are, learn what the corrective exercises are to hold them in the right position. We also teach how to modify exercises, so for clients that are injured, you learn which exercises to do, which exercises to avoid, how to modify certain exercises for their unique, customized problems in terms of their mechanics, and ultimately we also teach how to program design for your clients so that you take them through a gradual increasing challenge to hold the stability in the joint, to train them to have the best outcome at the end so they stay without injury but maximizing their fitness goals. If you like this video on how to personal train clients with injuries as it comes to joint stabilization and stretching, Give me a thumbs up below. Let's share this valuable information with other personal trainers. Questions or comments, write in. I'll do my best to answer them. Join our channel if you'd like. Subscribe. We've got a lot of great videos on personal training tips for you. 101 beginner right through advanced tips to increase your game and to improve your personal training business.